Hello, everyone. It's Akeem again from Grande Prairie Local Business Connection, and we're here to interview with Vince from Wonderland. Let's get him here.
How's it going?
Good. You're live.
Awesome.
So I
Thanks
guess,
for having me.
sorry, say it again.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, no, thank you for dedicating your time and adding some value to the community. So I guess we'll get started here. As we'll start with, where are you originally from? Are you from Grande Prairie or from somewhere else?
So that's the longest question you could have possibly asked me. So I was born in Tehran, Iran. Um, my mom is Austrian. My dad is Métis. I grew up in southwestern Ontario and Montreal. Um, I went to college in the States, university in Australia, and then I've been living in Grande Prairie now for the last 14 years.
Wow, you are well traveled, my friend.
Yeah, you betcha.
So we're actually, you said Southern Ontario. I actually grew up in Mississauga. I don't think I
Oh,
mentioned
really?
that before. Yeah,
Yeah, I lived in Oakville for 1 year and London, Ontario for 6.
right on, right on. Yeah,
Yeah,
so neighbors anyway. Your
yeah,
neighbors again.
exactly. Neighbors again.
With that said, so what is your business? What is Wonderland? And if you could describe not only what it is, but when did you start?
Wonderland is the world's first comic book diner. Burgers, fries, milkshakes, poutines, comic books, board games, card games, and tabletop miniatures. This is the 30th year of Wonderland. Um, it was started many years ago and run by Rick Flager. He sold that company off to a group of investors. I came in as one of those investors later on. And then a few years ago, I took over as the sole owner of Wonderland and had ideas of turning it into a diner.
Right on. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I told you before, we love those onion rings. So it's definitely. Well, what motivated you to enter that business space? If you just want to tell a little bit about your story.
When I first came to Grande Prairie, I came because my wife was accepted to McGill for her graduate degree in psychology, Kahlua Rhodey. And we looked at our finances and we said, how are we going to make this work? Uh, so I hopped on a plane, traveled across the country like so many young folk at the time, and I worked in the oil patch. When I got to Grande Prairie, it was a big culture shock for me, having come from Montreal. But when I walked into Wonderland, I actually relaxed and I went, I can live in this city. I can live in this city. And then I walked into the rabbit hole, and then I walked into what was Wide Choice Books at the time, which has become Hangar 19. And then I walked into Frags, which was an internet cafe at the time. And the downtown main strip actually captivated me. I thought to myself, there's so much charm and potential here. And then when my wife graduated, I said, hey, let's move to Grande Prairie. And she said, are you serious? And I went, I'm absolutely serious. I'm in love with this city.
Awesome, awesome. So with that said, how this obviously this COVID-19 situation is affecting all of us, but how
Yeah.
is it affecting you specifically and your business?
Um, the first way that it affects me is deeply personally with my family. You know, we moved our whole family out here. We moved Kalua's parents to live with us, my mom, my brother, his wife, my 2 nephews, Kalua's brother, and then we've had our children here as well. My best friend from Montreal that I've known since I was 6 months old, he's here with his kids. So quite literally the entire community of people that I care about. And I'm a member of the Baha'i faith, and they're all here as well. And so I think about the people that are in my life, and then I realize how close I am to them and how I can't see all of them daily now because of the way we isolate our lives.
Right, right.
And because of what Wonderland is, we're a community space primarily. We built everything around bringing people together. I realized just how big my family is. It extends to the people that I work with. It extends to the customers that come in the stores. They're all my best friends. It's incredible to think of. I know that I love my work when I can be in the store and I hear someone's laughter and I know who they are. Well, the
Yeah,
fact that I can recognize someone from their laughter, that makes me so happy. I mean, like, I'm doing the right thing if I'm recognizing people by their laughter.
yeah,
And so
absolutely.
I miss the laughter. I miss the connection with people. And it's made us make some really difficult choices with Wonderland
Yeah,
because the restaurant isn't open anymore. The dining space isn't open anymore. The play area isn't open anymore. I mean, we have room for 200 people to be playing board games, card games, Warhammer, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and just people sitting in the restaurant. And so to show up to work now and to prepare mail order, curbside pickup, delivery, it's strange. You know, anytime anyone comes to the front door to pick up their package, I can see it. We both lock eyes and we want to stand there and we want to talk for 45 minutes or 2 hours and just geek out with each other. But we realize it's like, no, we're going to do our part. We're going to social distance. Let's talk on Messenger. Let's Skype tonight. Let's FaceTime.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest with you, like there's a lot of business stuff that's got a lot of implications, but to be honest with you, it's the personal connections.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that, because even today, I had to run to Canadian Tire for something, and driving out of the parking lot, noticed a buddy.
Yeah.
And you pull up just to say hi and roll down the window, and then you're reaching to shake hands. And you're like, oh wait, yeah.
Give me an elbow.
It's kind of weird in a way, but I see what you're saying. There's kind of like a disconnect, even though people are obviously still happy to see you, but it causes a little bit.
We all have to be responsible. We all have to do our part. We're very fortunate that our country and our province has taken it seriously. And we're also really fortunate that the people in Grande Prairie and the Peace region have taken it seriously. It could be a lot worse than it is.
Yeah.
But because we're taking the appropriate steps, although it's really hitting our pocketbook and it's really affected me and my team, because, Wonderland, we have 3 locations. I have 31 employees. I had to lay a bunch of them off. Those are my best friends.
Yeah.
Right. And we sat down, we had an important conversation and we talked heart to heart about it. They understood. They realized that for us to get through this and to get on the other side of this, for them to have their careers with Wonderland, we all needed to make, really important sacrifices. Myself being the first one to make that sacrifice.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I donate my time to Wonderland right now, but Wonderland is an amazing hobby for me to have right now.
Just to interject, sorry, but with what you said, there are resources for people. Obviously, we'll post this video in the group, and I know there's some resources that have been posted if anybody wants to scroll through the thread, for business owners and their employees alike. There's a lot of resources, and even if you just search on Google, it doesn't have to be in the group, but there's lots of resources, and I think they're still developing some other programs so that other people don't fall through the cracks.
Yeah. We're really fortunate. We're really fortunate to be in the country that we are in, and the fact that we're not only taking the health impact seriously, but we realize that the economic and financial impact, it's going to be huge. This is going to be a watershed moment for all of us, and how we navigate through this quagmire is going to. Well, it's gonna change the fabric of the country, how we talk to each other, how we continue to do business, and we're gonna learn to, I hope, love and support each other even more, and appreciate what we've had up until this point.
Yeah, for sure. So, and I know you had mentioned just then, a couple minutes ago, that you're doing delivery, like door delivery.
Yeah, absolutely.
So would that be the main way that you've changed your business in order to address the situation, or is there anything else?
So when I took over Wonderland 4 years ago, we were closed for the entire year because of the flash flood that hit Grande Prairie.
Oh, right.
It allowed us to really sort of take stock of who we were, what we wanted to do, how we wanted to operate. Now, I feel fortunate in that I've already run a business for an entire year without revenue. So I have a lot of experience in this. So my team is, they're assured at the fact that, well, Vince has done this a couple of times. He knows how to run a business with very little revenue.
Yeah.
But the truth is, when we were opening back up, we opened up a location in Prince George, and then we did really, really well. And so after 2 years, we actually bought the largest comic book store in Canada, and that's in Edmonton, called Happy Harbor Comics. Oh. So now it's known as Wonderland Happy Harbor, or Wonder Harbor. And the website, happyharborcomics.com, spelled the American way, so HABOR comics.com. It's actually the biggest comic book website in Western Canada. So we're doing a lot of business through that website. We're doing a lot of curbside pickup and delivery in Edmonton. We're doing curbside pickup and delivery in Grande Prairie, where people can Facebook message us or call us. And and all that information is on our Facebook page, or if you Google Wonderland, you can find all of it as well. And then in Prince George, we're lucky because our store actually has a drive-through window, because it used to be a drive-through place. So people can pull on up and point out the board games and the paint and the paintbrushes that they want. And we'll pick it for them and put it in a bag, and no touch service, and off they go.
As easy as McDonald's. A funny
Yeah.
story. I went through a drive-through recently, and
Yep.
the attendant was using a cut-off hockey stick to hand me the debit machine to pay, so that he didn't have to touch the debit machine, which is kind of smart, but it was just kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It is kind of fun. It's I'm always kind of blown away at some of the innovations that the businesses that are open
Yeah,
have taken to keep going. There's some great businesses out there that are really need our support, like Cards Board Game Cafe is amazing. Strange Ideas, Comics and Collectibles near the mall. Hangar 19 just down the street from Wonderland. There's an awful lot of really good businesses that, of course, because they're based around community, get hit just as hard as Wonderland.
yeah,
Uh, and so anyone can support those guys, give them a call, find their Facebook page, call them up and say, hey, what do you guys have? I'm sure the owners or the managers would have zero problem walking around the store and saying, these are the board games we have, these are the graphic novels we have, or this is the food that we have in the case of cards. There's some great options, and there's some great ways to support the community.
yeah. And actually, now that you mention it, not only that, but I know for the downtown community businesses, at least, if anybody is, uh, it's on the page as well, but it's also on the Chamber of Commerce for Grand Prairie's page about the promotion they're running right now
Yeah.
for the downtown businesses, and you could win $1,500. I forget all the details. I know I read through it, but it's at the tip of my tongue right now. But
Yeah.
the information's out there for anybody that wants it.
Yeah, and check out the Downtown Association. They've got a gift card program going as well that is redeemable for any of our businesses. It's actually a really good program. For those of us businesses, it allows people to buy goods and services from us, and then we get redeemed from the Downtown Association later on. And it's another excuse for people to go hunting for what we've got. There's
Sure.
there's an awful lot of interesting stuff. It's interesting, right? Downtown is a ghost town right now, and
Yeah.
we just spent all this time and energy and money making it beautiful. It was looking great. It's so beautiful, and we don't get to show it off. It's a
We
shame.
will one day. We will one day.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right.
So, with that said, are there any other changes that you are anticipating having to make moving forward, or even when we get back to normal?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple of things. So Wonderland, we've always been fortunate because we have the mentality of being a restaurant. In all three of our locations, we treat our playing area as if it's a restaurant, even if in Prince George or Edmonton it's not. In Edmonton right now, we're moving to a newer location that's even bigger. So not only are we going to be the largest comic book store in Canada, we're going to be the second largest in the world
Oh, wow.
in Edmonton. And it's also going to be a full diner. So burgers, fries, onion rings, milkshakes, and of course, our 1 pound poutine.
There you go.
So we're going to come out of this with a lot of hope and a lot of energy. We're still moving forward. The store in Grande Prairie, we're painting things, we're cleaning things up, we're rebuilding things, we're buying new fixtures. And of course, we're building a second website that's in tandem with our original website so that we can truly launch every product that we do succinctly, easily, and that any one of the four corners of what Wonderland does can be accessed, either mailed out, picked up, or delivered.
Awesome. Awesome. People still have access, and we're continuing to grow as we can in this time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're weathering the storm. We're battening down the hatches, and while we've got this time on our hands, we're pulling out paintbrushes. We're pulling out hammers and nails. Construction is in full swing in Edmonton right now. It's
Yeah.
really weird. My landlord in Edmonton is like, "You're the only guy who's busy in Edmonton. What are you doing? You're crazy." But, you know what? I got good advice once. When everyone's panicking, remain calm, and when everyone's calm, panic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I was talking to Kalua about that too, where
Yeah.
there's always a silver lining, right? We just have to look for it sometimes, but there's gonna be blessings in disguise whenever we have some negative scenarios.
Absolutely. I feel for anyone whose family is has someone who's sick suffering, or heaven forbid, who's passed away because of this. You know, it must be completely incomprehensible, unfathomable how and why. And it's just made me appreciate even more
Mhm.
um, what's important. You know, we in our family we have people with compromised immune systems.
Yes.
Having lost my father a couple of years ago, having my mom going through cancer at the same time, and a dear friend of ours, Clyde Blackburn, city councillor, he just went through cancer.
Mhm.
And you start to really appreciate how precious life is. You know,
Yeah.
what's our relationship with our fellow human? What's our relationship with ourself and our spirit?
Yeah. It all starts with yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right
yeah.
on. Oh, well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for giving your time, taking the time out to do this. I really
That's
appreciate it.
my pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this, and I really appreciate the connection you're making between local businesses. And Godspeed on your way.
Well, thank you. All
Take
right.
care. Bye.